just within, temple within.
After my time in the Shaolin monastery, I eventually returned to France and settled in Lyon, where I discovered a place unlike anything I had seen before. The CLAM, the Centre Lyonnais des Arts Martiaux, led by Mr. Bernard Monret. He was an exceptional human being, a man whose presence carried the quiet authority of a true spiritual master. Although the CLAM stood in the very heart of Lyon, on Place Valmy, stepping inside felt like crossing a threshold into another world. Hidden in a quiet corner of the city, it became a kind of urban monastery for me, a sanctuary where the Japanese arts could be practiced in their purest form. There, I immersed myself in Aikido, Kyudo, Kendo, Iaido, and many other refined disciplines, each one a path toward precision, balance, and inner clarity. Bernard Monret embodied profound wisdom. His teachings were not only technical, they were living lessons, luminous and transformative, delivered with the natural grace of someone who had long since made peace with himself and with the world. Mr. Bernard Monret, a figure of gentleness and wisdom in the martial arts world, and the leader of the Centre Lyonnais des Arts Martiaux, CLAM. I explain how, at CLAM, I discovered profound teachings on harmony and unity through a simple yet demanding exercise. One day, Bea, Mr. Monret asked 5 of us practitioners to perform a kata together. The exercise seemed simple. Begin the kata at exactly the same moment, in perfect synchronization, without any signal to start. We tried countless times, but each time, one of us started a fraction too early or too late. Beatrice listens attentively, and I continue. At the end, Mr. Monret said something powerful.
Look how difficult it is for the 5 of you to start this kata in perfect harmony, even though you all share the same intention. How can we hope the world will get better if even a small group can't manage to align itself?
That lesson stayed with me. In Shotokai Karate, as in life, harmony and unity are essential elements for achieving peace. There is an old tale Master Bernard Monret once shared at the end of a lesson. A tale that lingers like incense long after the dojo has emptied. It begins with a young samurai whose name was spoken in whispers. People admired him. People feared him. His skill was unmatched, his confidence absolute. Yet despite his fame, one rumor tormented his pride. Somewhere in a remote monastery lived an older samurai master, a man said to know the true secret of heaven and hell. The young warrior couldn't bear the thought of another surpassing him. And so, dressed in his finest robes, sword polished to mirror brightness, he set out to confront this mysterious elder and demand his secret. When he reached the monastery, he announced himself with authority and was met with silence. He waited at the gate. 1 hour, 2 hours. A drizzle began to fall, beading on his flawless garments. Still, no one came. His jaw tightened, his fists clenched. No one had ever dared make him wait. At last, a young monk appeared and quietly signaled him inside, but not to the master. Instead, he was led to an empty corridor, told nothing, and left to wait again. 2 more hours passed. By the time a door finally slid open for him, his entire body trembled with indignation, not only from being kept waiting, but from the sheer disrespect of it. He stepped inside. The room was simple. Tatami mats, a faint smell of ink. At the far end, an old man sat quietly at a low table, brush in hand, tracing the curves of ancient kanji with a serenity that felt almost inhuman. The young samurai bowed stiffly, barely containing himself. "Master," he said through clenched teeth, "I have come to learn the secret of heaven and hell." The old man did not look impressed. He did not smile, nor greet him, nor show the slightest reverence for the visitor's reputation. Instead, he sighed, a weary, disappointed sigh, and muttered, "Heaven and hell are nothing but states of mind. Anyone should know that." Then, with a flick of his wrist, careless as a gesture one might give to shoo away a fly, he swept his brush across the air. A splash of black ink arced outward and struck the young samurai's pristine white kimono, leaving an unmistakable diagonal scar of darkness. Time froze. A soundless explosion ignited inside the young warrior. His breath sharpened, his vision narrowed, his entire body coiled like a storm. This insult, this humiliation, was unforgivable. With a roar rising in his chest, he reached for his sword. The blade began to slide from its sheath with a hiss that sliced through the silence. At that exact moment, the old master lifted his gaze for the first time. His eyes were calm, undisturbed, ancient.
"Here begins hell,"
he said. The words struck harder than steel. The young samurai felt the truth in them instantly. His fury, blazing, uncontrollable, had opened the gates to his own destruction. His hand froze. His breath came in ragged waves, slowly, painfully. He pushed the sword back into its scabbard. Silence returned to the room. The old master nodded once, as if acknowledging the transformation he had been waiting for. "And now," he said softly, "here begins heaven." The young samurai lowered his head. His anger dissolved into shame, then humility, then an unexpected lightness, as though something heavy had been cut free from within him. The master set his brush aside and spoke no further wisdom, no explanation, no lecture. He simply said, "Go, learn the way of the sword and the way of life." And the story ends there, carried like a seed in the heart of every student who hears it. A reminder that heaven and hell do not wait for us after death. We carry them within us, moment by moment, in the choices we make with our own heart.
By helping one another, we cultivate not only our martial skills, but also a shared resilience and harmony. Together, like trees in a forest, we protect and uplift each other, finding our true strength in unity and collective growth.
Beyond the Shaolin monastery and the clam in Lyon, my journey in the martial arts carried me into realms where technique meets transcendence. Over the years, I became known for performing the highest moroashi and the highest sozokugari ever recorded, feats that required not only physical refinement, but a level of mental discipline that borders on the meditative. One accomplishment in particular marked my path, a continuous Saitobi run extending over 1.75 kilometers without stopping. Something achieved by only a handful of practitioners in the world. It was not a display of endurance alone, but a moment where breath, intent, and body aligned into a single, flowing rhythm. These were not demonstrations meant to impress. They were the natural consequence of the inner work begun in Shaolin, deepened in Lyon, and carried forward through years of relentless practice. A practice where movement becomes clarity, and clarity becomes a way of living.
One body, one breath, one will, unshaken heart, unbroken skill, not to destroy but to endure in unity. We stand secure, one body, one breath, one will.